Some deaths make headlines for a day and then quietly disappear. But every once in a while, a death happens in a place so unexpected, involving people so powerful, that it refuses to fade away. This is one of those stories. Imagine leaving home for work, just like any other day, only for your life to end inside the private residence of one of the most powerful politicians in Nigeria. Before the sun sets, your name is everywhere. Social media explodes with shocking claims. Rumors spread faster than facts. The government speaks. Your family grieves. And an entire nation begins asking one haunting question: what really happened? This is the story of MaryHabila. MaryHabila was a young and dedicated physiotherapist from the David Umahi Federal University of Health Sciences. By all accounts, she was a hardworking professional with a promising future ahead of her. For the past 3 years, she had been serving on secondment in the office of Nigeria's Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi. It was an opportunity many young professionals could only dream of. Working closely with a serving cabinet minister placed her at the heart of one of the country's most important government offices. To those who knew her, it was another step forward in what appeared to be a bright and successful career. But everything changed in a way nobody could have imagined. Instead of returning home safely, MaryHabila's life came to a tragic end inside the minister's personal country home in Aburu, Ebonyi State. That single detail changed everything. The moment Nigerians heard that a young woman had died inside the private residence of one of the country's most influential political figures, what could have remained a private family tragedy suddenly became a national controversy. Within hours, social media platforms, especially X, were flooded with countless posts, theories, accusations, and speculation. Every minute seemed to produce a new version of the story. Some claimed there was a cover-up. Others insisted there was foul play. Before long, shocking allegations began circulating online, including claims that Mary's body had been discovered completely naked inside the compound. The rumors spread so quickly that many people accepted them as fact before any official investigation had even begun. But the official account painted a completely different picture. According to statements released by Senator David Umahi, there was no attempt to hide what had happened. Instead, he explained that concern first arose when Mary could no longer be reached. After repeated efforts to contact her failed, it was members of her own family who eventually forced open the door to her room in a desperate attempt to rescue her and get her medical attention. By then, it was already too late. The difference between these two versions of events could not have been greater. On one side were explosive rumors that painted a dark and disturbing picture. On the other was an official explanation that described a medical emergency discovered only after worried relatives intervened. That wide gap between speculation and official statements has only deepened the mystery. As emotions continue to rise and questions remain unanswered, Nigerians are left searching for the truth behind Mary's final hours. What exactly happened inside that residence? Why have the different accounts created so much confusion? And what evidence will ultimately separate fact from fiction? Those are the questions at the heart of this story. As the rumors continued to dominate social media, the controversy entered a completely different phase. It was no longer just a battle of opinions on the internet. It had become a legal and public relations battle, with both the search for the truth and the protection of reputations taking center stage. At the heart of this new chapter is one critical issue, the question of an autopsy. According to an official statement released by Senator David Umahi's media team, the minister did not attempt to distance himself from the tragedy. Instead, they said that immediately after Mary's death was confirmed, Senator Umahi received her grieving parents, offered his condolences, and advised them to allow a medical autopsy to determine the exact cause of death. The statement further claimed that the family initially declined the recommendation. However, as public interest continued to grow and speculation intensified across the country, the minister's team said Senator Umahi maintained that an autopsy remained the best way to establish the facts and put an end to the uncertainty. At the same time, they stressed that such a procedure could only go ahead with the consent of Mary's parents. But while attention remained focused on the proposed autopsy, another major development was unfolding. Rather than simply waiting for the medical process to take its course, Senator Umahi also moved to confront what he described as false and damaging reports circulating online. In public statements, the minister strongly condemned individuals and bloggers whom he accused of spreading defamatory claims about him in connection with Mary's death. He argued that unverified allegations were unfairly damaging his reputation and misleading the public at a time when emotions were already running high. To demonstrate that he intended to challenge those claims through legal means, Senator Umahi announced that he had instructed his lawyers to begin legal action against online platforms and individuals responsible for publishing or sharing what he described as false reports. His media team also stated that Mary's parents, who were in Ebonyi State at the time, would address the media themselves. According to the statement, they were also expected to support legal action against those accused of spreading misinformation about the circumstances surrounding their daughter's death. With that announcement, the controversy took on an entirely new dimension. What had begun as a tragic and mysterious death was now becoming a legal confrontation involving one of Nigeria's most powerful politicians, a grieving family, media organizations, and a public demanding answers. As the investigation continues, one thing remains clear. The medical findings, if an autopsy is eventually carried out, may answer some of the questions surrounding Mary's death. But until those answers emerge, the battle between official statements, public suspicion, and online speculation is likely to continue, leaving many Nigerians still asking the same question they asked from the very beginning: what really happened to MaryHabila?